Okay, hello. So, just doing a quick recap. This is the end of my favorite soul life. Let's see if this is gonna work here. So, thought I'd just do a quick review here. This was a kind of an interesting life. I didn't really know where I was going with this. This is the first time I've run a full caster favorite soul all the way to level cap. It was a different experience. I didn't really know what to expect. In the end, I enjoyed it. It was a lot like playing a sorcerer, but not really. So it's just kind of interesting. Do a quick review of what I'm at right now. Currently, I'm sitting at level 32. I don't have any legendary gear right now. So right now I have an epic big top. I have an epic anchor chain, which is doing practically nothing for me. It's got profane life force and profane spell focus. That's about it. But it does complete my Saltmarsh set. This is the epic shard of Valoon, which I love for any fire slash light slash healing build. So this is great. Insightful Radiance, Insightful Combustion, Insightful Devotion plus 55, Wizardry 195. Have it slotted with a Sapphire of Good Luck. Did I even stick a... Wow, did I not have... That explains a lot. So I'm just going through this and I just realized that literally none of my gear has... normally everything I have, I've got it slotted somewhere, has a Master's Gift, is that what they call it? And that's the augment that gives you the +5 enhancement to experience. It turns out I didn't have it slotted anywhere. Interesting. So that explains why it was taking longer than I thought. Oops, sorry, that's not the right cloak. Here, stick that in. And then I have my Hallowed Trail, Radiance, Radiance Lore, Evocation 3, Quality Spell, Penetration +2. It's all right. It completes my set. Epic Belt of Thoughtful Remembrance. This drops out in Epic Orchard. Death Block, Constitution 11, Concentration 20, Resistance 11, Dodge 11, Greater Regeneration, Sapphire of Natural Armor, because why not? Epic Ethereal Ring, Ghostly, Speed 30, Dodge 9, Reflex 9, Topaz of Wizardry. So this makes most of the other stuff redundant, but whatever. Epic Cinderfingers, this is pretty good. Fire Lore, Combustion, Evocation 4, Resistance 8, Web Immunity, and I've got it started with Healing Amp 37, so that's pretty cool. My beloved Epic Crocodile Skin Boots, Constitution 9, Acid Absorption, Cold Absorption 27%, Freedom of Movement, Always On, Acidic Reaping when this item is equipped. Any killing blows you strike against enemies grant you 40 acid resistance for 30 seconds, so that's pretty cool. Got that slotted with a Sapphire of Crushing Waveguard and a Diamond of Strength. Epic Salt Pearl Ring. This again doesn't do much for me, but it does give me Insightful Charisma +4 and Enchantment Focus +4 with a Sapphire Defense 24 and a Diamond of Charisma +9. So this is basically my all-on charisma item. And you're like, then why do you have this? Well, because this one has a Diamond of Exceptional Charisma slotted in it, which I could not stick into this anywhere. So I guess if I wanted to move my Sapphire Defense onto another piece of equipment, then I could probably free this slot up and do something else with it. But this is the way I did it, so whatever. Yeah, it doesn't really have anything. Use magic device +3 on it. Meh, it's all right. Castigator's Devotion, Healing Lore, Sheltering, Insightful Sheltering, actually. Efficient Meta Magic and Power Healing, and Mythic Boost, Diamond of Strength +6. Again, that's redundant. Mythic Blessed Vestments, excuse me, not Mythic, but just plain old Heroic Blessed Vestments. Fortification, Physical Sheltering 19, Healing Amplification 30, False Life 29, Mythic Boost 2. And then I use these through all the way from level 15, the Acolyte's Lenses, which drop in Lost at Sea. Intelligence 8, Insightful Intelligence 3. You think, well, why do you care? Well, that ups my spellcraft, so that's a little bit more damage. Insightful Wizardry 77, which stacks. Spellsight 16, which again boosts all my damage spells, so good to have it slotted somewhere. My Epic Scepter of Impulse, Kinetic Lore 16, Impulse 111, Insightful Impulse 55, Insightful Wizardry. And perhaps the MVP of this build is the Resplendent Fury Orb, which is Insightful Radiance 47 and Insightful Radiance Lore 9, which is a huge deal because that stacks and there's no way to replace that anywhere else. The only other item that gives you that is the Epic Coalesced Coinage, but what this also has is Coalesced Flame, and this is crucial. Whenever you cast a fire or light spell, you gain +50 temporary spell points that last for 30 seconds. You can only trigger this once every 45 seconds. That +50 temporary spell points, because everything I do is fire and light, was constantly up. Like my spell points were never depleted ever. I have all just under 5,000 spell points right now, 4922. If I had more, like all my sorcerer lives and stuff, I'd probably have it all the way up over 5,000. But man, like I never ran out of spell points. Like I was never close. Most of the time I was at like 10 or 15% off of my spell points. Like it was never a concern ever. Just absolutely amazing, this item. And lastly, of course, is my Quiver of Alacrity for striding, which I have on since level 1. In case you're wondering, this is the cosmetic outfit of the Celestial Avenger. For those of you who's not seen it, this is the cloak from Hardcore 8. That's the, what do they call that? It's not, they don't call this a cloak, they call it something else, sash. And of course my cosmetic elemental thing, the cosmetic drowned priest torch, because why not? Thought that was poetic. But yeah, that's the way this guild this laid out. Now I should mention that the reason why I was married to this all the way to cap is because the Blessed Vestments, the Hallowed Castigators, and the Hallowed Trail all stack up to give me the Flame Cleansed Fury, which when you have all three equipped is plus 25 artifact bonus to fire, force, light, and positive spell power. So that's plus 25 to all of that. And plus 5 artifact bonus to fire, force, light, and positive spell crit chance. Again, that's stacking because it's artifact. Plus 2 artifact bonus to wisdom and charisma, stacking. Plus 1 artifact bonus to spell DCs, again, stacking. So I was effectively married to this. The only thing that could have changed if I'd gotten to a little more work farming. I have a legendary Hallowed Trail, and then I could probably farm out a legendary Blessed Investment and a legendary Hallowed Castigator, but it just didn't happen this life. And it's unlikely to happen now since I'm recording this at night, and I'm probably going to have to log off to clear my cache and do something. Otherwise, I'm going to have to play something that's not DDO tomorrow, but whatever. So overall, let's have a quick look at my feats are pretty much exactly what you'd expect for a spellcaster. So let's see if I can just collapse most of this junk down. All the favorite feats. My favorite soul class feats, I took damage reduction good as my level 20 because practically nothing is using good. So that's amazing. Energy absorption acid, energy absorption electricity, energy absorption fire. That's to me that's the holy trinity of damage reductions. Grace of battle. You embody the man of faith through your deity. You have the ability to use your charisma modifier for both hit and damage with your favorite weapon. I took Stout of Heart because plus 4 maximum hit points per level of favorite soul. So I always prefer hit points over spell points. I'd have taken I forget what the other one is. Strong of Heart or Brave, the other one, whatever the other thing is, which I'll add in later if I can remember what it is. That gives you more spell points, but like spell points was never an issue because I'm a pure favorite soul. Empower healing, empower spell, heighten spell, maximize, quicken. So again, everything you'd expect from a spellcaster. There's nothing really exciting going on there. Mental toughness would have been the other one. And these are my hardcore feats. So I'm still trying to figure out what I spent at least one of these feats on. Must have spent it on something. Anyway, my epic feats were epic damage reduction, intensify spell, obviously, master of light, wellspring of power, and then my legendary feats was sign of Celestia. Trying to figure out where they stick those. And there we go, destiny feats. So deific warding plus 10 PRR and MRR when you take damage from an enemy's attack or spell. Add 1 stack of deific warding plus 2 to MRR and PRR. This could stack up to 10 times. I took that right at the very end. Epic spell power fire, epic spell power force, epic spell power light. That's basically everything you want. And then master of fire too, but master of light, this is what's giving you sunbolt, searing light, and divine punishment gain plus 10 to the maximum caster level. That's a big deal. You want that. And that's all that is in the sign of Celestia just for the sake of completion. Plus 4 to DCs of evocation, plus 2 to DCs of other spells, plus 150 maximum hit points, plus 20 fire, positive light and alignment spell power, plus 20 universal spell power, plus 15 critical damage with positive light and alignment spells, plus 10 universal crit spell damage, plus 4 to will saves, which is actually not bad. My will saves are surprisingly poor. I could have sworn I don't think I took Force personality. And that's just like, again, it's just eating me alive to try and figure out what I spent that last stupid feat on.
2 hours later.
Oh, maybe that's it. Arcane Initiate. There we go. So Arcane Initiate. So this is what this does. You recall more about your past life as a wizard, gain +1 to the DCs of spells you cast, and can cast magic missile 10 times per rest, Doesn't really matter, I never used that. So really this was just about getting +1 to all my DCs. That was what I took it in. So there you go, that was my last spell, Arcane Initiate. Spells, Cure Light Wounds, Night Shield, Nimbus of Light, Shield of Faith for level 1, Cure Moderate, Tiefling Vengeance, Resist Energy, Sound Burst. I didn't even have this on my bar at the end. Didn't have either of these, Sound Burst or Tiefling Vengeance on my bar at the end. Cure Serious Wounds, Magic Circle Against Evil, Prayer, which I never used, and Searing Light for level 3. Level 4, Chaos Hammer, Death Ward, Holy Smite, which I used constantly, and Order's Wrath. I got more use out of Chaos Hammer and Order's Wrath than you might otherwise think. Cure Water Wounds, Moderate Wounds Mass, Divine Punishment, Flame Strike, and Greater Command. Greater Command was my crowd control. I was using this all the time. That's why I have enchantment built in. So that was my level 5. Level 6, Blade Barrier, of course, Cure Moderate Mass, and the all-important Heal. Level 7 was Destruction, which was a fantastic get-off-me button. Freedom of Movement Mass, and Protection from Elements Mass, just mass group buffs. There wasn't really much going on at level 7, so that was the best that I personally felt was available. Cure Critical Wounds Mass, Firestorm was amazing, and Holy Aura, because it's more protection. And again, there's not a whole lot going on at level 8. And finally, level 9, where the big bangs happen. Celestial Bombardment, arguably the best divine spell in the game. Divine Wrath, probably the second best one, and then Implosion, which I regularly forgot to use, but when I did turn it on, it was an amazing time watching guys go purple and disappear, so that was cool. Enhancements. I think that's about it. Don't think there's a whole lot to go through here. We'll take a quick look at my enhancement tree. Now, I did this a little bit differently. This is something I don't normally do. Here's my 8 racial points that I had. So Blood Hunt, any protection +3 to saves versus spells, 1 scroll mastery, 1 point in traditionalist caster, one in here for acid resistance equal to my character level, because you already have fire resistance equal to my character level as a tiefling. So I get acid resistance as well, which I consider crucial. And what I did here was something I don't normally do. Now I have a couple of points in War Soul and a couple of points in Beacon of Hope, but I went all in on the Angel of Vengeance tree. So all 6 cores, Ascendancy, Shine Bright, Charisma. So +4 to Charisma, +20 universal spell power, +2 to spell DCs, +2 to all skills. When you're able to cast a Searing Light spell at will without using any spell points. This is a huge deal, because once you can do this, that's a spell-like ability, so it can't be quelled. Spell-like abilities can't be quelled. I learned that the hard way. And it costs 0 spell points, so I can slap every meta magic in the universe on it, and it costs me nothing. So I can just spam the crap out of that, and it's always going to work, and I'm always going to have it, which is amazing. Font of Power, Shield of Condemnation, Aura of Menace, Summon Archon, which I continually forgot to do, Vengeful Magic. This is good because it's +1 spell DCs and +20 light and alignment spell power. When you fall below 80% health, to get +1 sacred bonus to spell critical chance for 20 seconds. When you fall below 60%, another +1, and then another bonus when you fall below 50% sacred bonus to spell critical damage multiplier, fire force, light, and physical spells for 20 seconds. Each of these effects persist even if you are healed above their threshold. So if you get knocked down and then you heal yourself back up, you've got rage casting happening, which is pretty rad. All the tiers of Nimbus of Light, which eventually I just didn't have on my bar anymore because I never needed it, but good for the early game. Scourge, whenever you cast a Fire Force, Light, or physical damage spell, you gain +3 to your Fire Force, Light, and physical spell power for 6 seconds. Stacks up to 10 times. In addition, when you take damage, you gain 1 stack of Scourge. So this is continually stacking all of your spell power, which is great. Smiting, Fire Force, Light, and physical damage spells have an additional 2% chance to critical hit, so that went all the way up to the top for a total of +8. When you just reward, when you critically hit with a Fire Force, Light, or physical damage spell, you gain 10 sacred temporary spell points. Your deity's favorite weapon is considered a spellcasting implement in your hands. So again, this is stacking on top of my Resplendent Fury, is giving me a whole lot of free spell points. Spell power boost, obviously that's your action boost for +30 spell points. Let's see. Sunbolt, SLA, not much to tell there. Intense Faith, your Fire Force, Light, alignment, and physical damage spells are cast at +3 caster level, and that's necessary so you can go to Zealous Faith. The maximum cast level of your Fire Force, Light, Alignment, and physical damage spells are increased by +3. So you want that. Those caster level increases seem like nothing, but they're huge. Comet Fall, you get Comet Fall as a spell-like ability so that you can slap every SLA in the world on it. This is a conjuration though, so just be aware of that. It's you're gonna have to find conjuration DCs somewhere. But this, in addition to beating stuff up, it also knocks them down, so that's also a great form of crowd control. So when your greater command doesn't work or what have you, you can use Comet Fall to knock stuff down, which is handy. Unstoppable magic. Enemies within your order of mana suffer a -3 penalty to spell resistance. This is handy. I did run into problems with spell penetration. I'm not really spec'd for it, so I probably could have lost Arcane Initiate for spell penetration, but remains to be seen. Evocation bonus gives me +1 of my evocation DCs, and then of course Archon's Fury. Your Lantern Archon's attacks add a stack of fire of Archon's Fury. I could have easily lost this. I never had that turned on. It's very expensive. Every time the Archon fires, it's costing 12 spell points, and that's a lot, like an awful lot. So that drains you very, very quickly. Even if you've got like tons of spell points at a boss fight at the end, it still will drain you very quickly to turn that on. So that's what I did with that. And here, finally, Efficient Maximize. I never take these, but there was a plan to this. So if I go Efficient Maximize, took all of this, it costs 9 fewer spell points to use Maximize. Maximize costs 25 points in addition to whatever spell you're casting. So now it's reduced, taken 9 off of that, which has reduced it to, I gotta do actual mental math. 25 minus 9 is 16. So now it's only costing 16. You're like, wow, it's still a lot. And it is. But there is a method to this madness, which I will show you later. So over here in Warsoul, I had to spend points somewhere. So Smite Foe, never used it. Damage reduction 5 was great. Sanctuary again, activate for 20 seconds, plus 20 sacred bonus to physical resistance, never used it. This is giving me fire and light for each one of these cores, so that's plus 15 there. Sacred Touch, whenever you heal allies, you get a +2 sacred bonus to armor class physical resistance for 12 seconds. Again, never used it. 15 spell points. Magic resistance rating. The most important thing in here is this magic backlash, and I wish I'd had enough points left at the end to take it all the way to 3. When an enemy damages you with a spell, there's a 20% chance that they will be knocked down. I saw a lot of guys falling down, so this was really great. I'm glad I took it. And lastly, Beacon of Hope did not go very far in this tree, so I took Pleasant Disposition, +1 positive spell critical chance, healing amp, and +5 spell power for each core. So that's again, and then this is Beacon of Grace. So this is I call it the headlights that shoots out the cone of healing in front of you. It's an SLA, so it's handy. It also hits you when it does it, so it's like another heal boost, shining light. Whenever you cast one of your beacons or use Flight of Glory, you will be affected abilities gain a sacred bonus to healing amplification equal to your favorite soul plan. So like it's a passive bonus to your heals, so that's fine. 6 competence bonus to physical resistance rating. Is this a competence bonus? Can't remember. Just no, okay, so it's a stacking bonus. Good Hope SLA, awesome. Good Hope is an amazing buff, so glad to have that. Close Wounds. Close Wounds is one of the few things that will stop a bleed effect. So if you're hit with a bleeding effect, Close Wounds will stop that. And because this is an SLA, I can stack it with every meta magic. So it's got Empower, Heal, Intensify, Maximize, and Quicken on at the same time. Most heals won't take all of those, but this one will. So I had them all stacked, and then the Empower healing spell meta magic costs you 4 fewer spell points, and at that point I simply turned on Empower healing all the time, because Empower healing I think is 10. So for 5 extra spell points, whatever. It's not, I mean, I had so many spell points it didn't matter. Quick look at my stats. Base 10 strength, base 10 dexterity, base 16 con, base 12 intelligence, base 10 wisdom, and base 20 charisma. So I was a full charisma build, which is why my will save is not a super rad, although my reflex is actually my lowest save now, but for a while my will save was actually my lowest save. So that worked out pretty well. And then we'll take a quick look at my, yeah, I've completely tongue-tied my epic things. So Fox Friend to Flame, Spring to Summer, Epic Strike Burst, Firefly from around you, never used it. Rejuvenation Cocoon, because Rejuvenation Cocoon is rad. And the first core, +5 fire, light, positive, and universal spell power, +5 maximum spell points, +1 epic bonus to all DCs. So really all this mattered was Rejuvenation Cocoon. which was great. Early on, that was amazing healing. That stacked up with my other stuff. Draconic Incarnation Fire for my second tree. So that's plus 50 spell points, plus 5 spell power, which is fire, plus 5 universal spell power, minus 5% cost on spells, which is amazing. I believe this is and this gives me eschew materials. Another minus 5%, so grand total of minus 10%, 50% chance to gain 10 temporary hit points per character level that lasts for 20 seconds. This was proccing all the time, so I was pretty sturdy. Plus 6 search spot and reflex saving throws. I always take this because reflex is important. Armor class and fortitude saving throws. I only took one because I had to get to the next tier. Red Dragon Breath, all 3 points in that. Coalescence, you bypass first 10 points of energy resistance on your spells. I didn't take any more in this, which I probably should have. Again, 1 point in Draconic Presence to get breath weapon DCs up a little bit just so I could get to the next tier, which was Daunting Roar, which gives a fear effect. Scales of the Dragon, which is just more ablative soaking protection. So that's plus 15 points of damage per character level and ablative protection. So it's like super stone skin. Plus 3 conjuration spell DCs for my Comet Falls, and then Gaping Maw to double the damage of my Dragon Breath. And that was all I stuck, so 22 points all told in Draconic Incarnation. And then the bulk of it obviously was going into my Exalted Angel Tree. So all 4 cores, Astral Touch, Deepening Faith, Angelic Charge, and then Heavenly Wrath. So whenever I do my wing charge through stuff, they take fire and light damage. So this gives you Leap of Faith, you don't have it. And let's see, and it recharges faster if you don't. This was spell point pool increases by 10%. Magical training feat if you don't have each core grants plus 50 SP plus 5 fire, force, and light. So all of these here are giving me fire, force, and light. 1 point in subtle flame because I didn't have points to put it. Plus 3 in born flame, plus 15 fire and light resistance. You gain plus 5 fire and light absorption. Angelic form. This is rad. You want this. Sun pillar because I needed something to strike stuff that was light damage. I didn't want fire damage. I wanted light specifically. And that strikes vertically down instead of straight ahead, so you can like fire around objects, which is great. Saving grace plus 6 to will saving throws. You no longer fail will saving throws on a 1 at rank 3. Angelic body. While in my Exalted Angel Destiny Mantle, you are immune to natural poisons and natural diseases, which means practically nothing because by endgame everything is supernatural or magical. Evocation DCs plus 3. Mask Cure Moderate Wounds SLA again. More heals is more. Just slapped every meta magic on in the world on it in case things got ugly, which they rarely did, because when you're here, this is why you run in your Destiny Mantle. You get Holy Presence while in your Exalted Angel Epic Destiny Mantle unconscious. You and your allies in the close range show for D4 plus 1 bonus hit points per caster level and positive healing every 6 seconds. It scales with 100% positive spell power. So you're watching this proc right now. We just hang around for a thing. See, that goes off every 6 seconds. I was very rarely was I ever close to death. I did die actually in breaking the ranks on Reaper, simply because I was continually knocked down. Like, and even there were all those hill giants run out and they just, everything they do, the foot stomp, the club swing, the boulder throw, everything is a knockdown. And when there's 12 of them spamming all those things in rotation with 0 cooldown, I just was on my back forever. And when you're on your back, that counts as unconscious and you don't heal. So it's unfortunate, but there it is. But otherwise, as long as you can stay on your feet, you're almost impossible to kill. Purity of Mind and Soul needed to get to the next tier, so that's plus 10 positive, negative, and repair amplification. Holy Command, when you hit enemies with Sun Pillar, Flame Pillar, or Healing Pillar, they must make a will saving throw or be tripped, blinded, and made helpless for 12 seconds. So that's handy, more additional effects. And this is what we were building for. Remember when I said that I took all the maximizes, the efficient maximizes? You get to here. Enhanced Meta Magics Maximize. Using the maximize spell, magic costs you 9 fewer spell points. So that's 9 plus 9, which is 18. 18 from 25, that leaves me with 6 or 7. Anyway, my math is terrible. But suffice to say, at that point, when it's now like 6 or 7 points, suddenly I've got bazillions of spell points, plus I'm recovering spell points, which means I can turn maximize on all the time. So as soon as I took this, I turned on maximize, and every one of my spells is maximized all the time. So what was and the last one over here was Blood and Radiance, plus 10 Firelight, positive alignment, and universal spell power. And then lastly, at the top tier, plus 2 to all spell DCs. I didn't take all 3 of those. Holy Fireball, which I don't even have on my bar right now, which is creates a ball of fire that detonates on impact, an explosion of light and flame that deals D3 plus 9 light damage and D3 plus 9 fire damage per cast level targets in the path. So that's pretty rad, but I never got a chance to use it. Ascendance, this is my epic moment. This is the one that resurrects you if you're dead and brings you back. Enemies that you gain a ring of flaming blades around you. Enemies that enter or exit your flaming blades take d6 fire damage and d6 light damage per cast level. This scales spell power. Allies that enter your ring gain d6 positive healing, which also scales with spell power. Every 2 seconds, you gain d20 plus 20 positive healing per caster level. This scales with positive spell power plus 30 boost and movement speed. Your spells cannot be interrupted. Okay, so this is actually different. This is not the same epic moment. Interesting. So it's not, this is not like the Reborn in Light. I thought it was, but it isn't. And lastly, I took Enhanced Metamagics Intensify. The Intensify Metamagic no longer costs spell points. Plus 5 Fire, Light, Positive Alignment, Universal Spell Power. So again, as soon as I took this, I immediately turned Intensify on. And so if I was going to continue forward to do legendary content, that would be how I would roll with that. Other than that, very similar to Sork and playstyle. You race in, you blast stuff with as much horsepower as you possibly can and continue on. The only difference is that you've got better self-healing than you do as a Sork. Your defense is a little bit better. The blasting is not as good, obviously, but it's very close to being as good. The problem is, and this is something I ran into, is that the divine spells have putrid targeting, like just the most obnoxiously bad targeting you can possibly imagine. I wasted more time throwing airball spells than I ever did worrying about mobs because the soft targeting is terrible and it's all over the place. Comet falls just in front of guys, behind guys, beside guys. If you target somebody and they like move behind you or to the side of you, it says targets out of range, and then it dry fires and fails, and then you're on cooldown. And it's just a lot of the spells are very slow developing. Flame Strike is very slow developing. Divine Wrath is very slow developing. Celestial Bombardment is slow developing. So really, like your first 3, so Searing Light, Sun Pillar, Sunbolt, and Holy Smite, Dragon Breath, like you're going through those because they go off immediately, but some of your other ones like Firestorm does not go quickly, and the biggest hitters don't actually go off that quickly. So what you want to do, especially with stuff that you could command, is command them, knock them down, pick a guy, drop a thing on him. But again, be careful because you think you've got a guy targeted, or at least soft targeted, and it throws it off into the middle of nowhere. The targeting is really, really random. That was the biggest problem I had. Other than that, I mean, the playstyle is, again, very similar to a Sork. You run in, you find the biggest pack of junk you can and drop bombs on it. Chaos Hammer and Order's Wrath are for those bizarre moments when you're stuck with something that you can't hurt with other stuff. Like I've found I was used that a lot on golems, because unaligned or non-aligned stuff or neutral stuff is going to kind of be a problem sometimes. You should be able to get those with light spells or fire spells, but not always. So if there's stuff in there that you know is going to be chaotic, like all demons are chaotic, all devils are lawful, so on and so forth. So when you kind of like know the basic alignments and stuff you're dealing with, you can smash the crap out of them with these 2 spells. They have their situational uses. I wasn't using them all the time, but it is valuable. I did take Sovereign Host as my deity just because unyielding sovereignty is better than everything else by a wide margin. I do have, excuse me, I'll show you I made exactly 50 Reaper points this life. So I took the first 4 cores in Dire Thaumaturge, all spell penetrations, 2 charismas, all 3 Reaper's power mementos, 1 tick of Reaper's potency just to get another thing of Reaper's, whatchamacallit, all the spell powers down the side. And then in Grim Barricade, first 4 cores, 1 charisma. I did take Will as my save because it was very weak for a while. Reaper's Memento just in case. Reaper's Bulwark, physical resistance right up the side. That was it. Nothing really to see there. So that was it. Again, favorite soul, good time. I understand why people liked it. I can see like this being really a popular somebody's jam. Would I do it again? I don't know if I'm dying to do it again because like Sork and Alchemist, it's really painfully slow for the first 6 levels, like agonizingly slow. So if you can't get through those quickly, that's going to be a problem. But once you kind of get through those, it's fine. I don't know, give it a shot. It's a good time. I mean, Exalted Angel makes everything okay. So it's fun to blast through at the end because by the end it was a good time. Also, good to note that blade barrier, you want to drop that and just get guys running around through it. I called it master strats, ironically, because you just drop a blade barrier and then just kind of kite stuff around, and sooner or later they'll die just running through your blade barrier, which is pretty hilarious. But really, I found that I wasn't even doing that much kiting. Like honestly, I just kind of turtled up and just kept dropping comet falls and flame strikes on stuff until they died. I wasn't again. It's very easy. Like if there hadn't been targeting issues, this would have been a romp, and I'd have said, yeah, it's better than Sork. So that's how good I thought it was. But again, your mileage may vary. But give it a try. I enjoyed it. I'll see if I can post my actual build to the forums. I did post one. I will admit that there was a bit of douchebaggery because I just kind of posted it and ditched the thread altogether. But I will try to do a little more interactivity for this one. But that's pretty much all there is to say about that. I hope that you perhaps gleaned something from this that you might otherwise not have. But yeah, and favorite soul, don't be afraid. It is a good time. It's not nearly as bad as you might think. You can bomb the poo out of everything and enjoy inflicting righteous justice on everything. So that's kind of it for now. I hope that I see you on my Twitch stream, which is twitch.tv/beastguitargaming. Come see me any day, 0930 hours, Monday to Friday, and I will talk to you then. So take care, everybody.